Hello everyone, welcome to the best place to hear the best takes. I'm Benjamin Cure, you're watching the Benjamin Cure Show. We can all feel it right now, football is officially upon us. This is the last week before NFL regular season play begins. The final fantasy football drafts are taking place as we speak. I already drafted, I'm really happy with my team. If you haven't started yet, make sure you hurry, grab your friend group, start drafting. We are just 7 days away from Thursday Night Football. With all of that said, we have some important topics to get to, some stories that are just breaking this morning. Let's kick off the show. Breaking just this morning, the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson have agreed to terms on a 5-year, $245 million extension. $165 million of that is guaranteed. Ian Rappaport shared that the Broncos plan to finalize their new ownership group, which was the Walton Penner family. They then wanted to have them weigh in on the situation, understand cap space, understand how the league finances work, and then from there, move quickly. So the Walton Penner ownership team has officially secured their first big contract, and it's actually the largest contract in franchise history. It goes to show the power of the new ownership group and what they plan on doing, how they want to compete. And it also just shows you Russell Wilson is tied to Denver for the next 7 years. For reference, Russell's annual average salary as quarterback is now only second to Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers tops that list at just over $50 million per year. Wilson is just below that at $49 million. So, quickly, just my thoughts. It shows you where the league is headed. Quarterbacks are the centerpiece of your franchise. They are the cornerstone of your success. They are the cornerstone of your losses as well. So you want to make sure you have the right guy at the helm. Franchises that get that understand that, they've totally given up on going cheap at the quarterback position. Once you have it, you got to pay it. I said this before and I'll say it again. There are no discounts for winners. You can build and develop a roster with draft picks. You can get cheaper guys. You can develop them and build them up. But it's not how you're going to win at the highest level. You need the best. And to get the best, you need to pay them like they're the best. Even for that group of elite older quarterbacks, it's still very clear that they have value. They are veterans with high winning percentages. They have postseason success. And they have the best refined leadership ability out there. Even if they're closer to the end than they are the beginning, they're still worth it. That's what the market is showing you. Denver wants to win now. They want to win in the future. And they want to do it with Russell Wilson at the helm. They don't have time for the back and forth and the nonsense of contract negotiations, unsatisfied quarterback. They don't have time for that. Here's $250 million. You earned it. That's it. End of story. The only question that I'm asking right now, what's Lamar Jackson thinking? What are the Ravens thinking? Baltimore's front office can delay paying him all they want, but the quarterback market is only going to rise. Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, and now Russell Wilson? That's just this offseason. The longer the Ravens wait, the more they're going to have to pay Lamar. Just get it over with. Pay your leader. Let him know that you're comfortable with him. Let him feel supported by the franchise. Because Baltimore, yesterday's price is not today's price. Earlier this week, Jon Gruden publicly addressed the email leak that resulted in his resignation. This marked the first time that he's spoken about the scandal publicly. Gruden called the emails shameful, but he also noted that he's a good person and that he hopes to get another shot. For those who may not remember what happened in totality, this past October, the New York Times broke a story regarding emails that were sent from Jon Gruden, and they contained racist, homophobic, and misogynistic language. The emails spanned over the course of 7 years, and they were uncovered in an investigation that was led by the NFL, originally into the Washington Commanders and that ownership group. Shortly after this came to light and he resigned, Gruden actually fired back at the NFL. He believes the league singled him out because they wanted him out of the league, and he's looking to prove that in his latest lawsuit that was filed against the NFL last year. So that brings us to this point. We are a week out from the start of the NFL regular season. Players and fans are excited to be back right at the starting line, and now Gruden is stepping up to the mic, and he's publicly sharing his desire to get another shot at coaching in the NFL. We as sports media are covering these comments, and a lot of us this week have been asking each other the question, whether or not Jon Gruden will ever coach in the NFL again. Will Gruden be granted his wish? Will he be granted another chance? I've said this on this show before in a joking sense when I'm talking about quarterbacks and the emphasis on offense, but now I'm going to say this with a sense of seriousness. This is not your father's league. We are in 2022, and in today's day and age, we are held accountable for our actions and our words, more so than ever. They say that time heals everything, and maybe Gruden will earn the forgiveness of some over time. Maybe he will grow, and he will allow others to grow and forgive him. But the world will never forget this. This is not going to be brushed under the rug in 3 years, or in 5 years, or even 10 years. The fact of the matter is that Gruden and his language in those emails will forever be a stain on his own career. Everyone deserves a second chance. I've shared my beliefs on this topic before. America is the land of opportunity. It's the land of second chances, and it's one of the best things about us. I truthfully believe that. But that second chance doesn't extend itself to every position, especially one as prestigious as being a head coach in the National Football League. No owner is going to invite Jon Gruden with open arms to lead their franchise. That ship has sailed. And even beyond public opinion and the owners making decisions and their decision-making power, you're asking if Gruden can coach a team? Let's be real here. As a head coach, you'd be asking players and staff to follow your lead. That's the job description. But those emails, Gruden left no stone unturned. He offended a lot of people. Read the reports for yourself. The language can be described as racist, misogynistic, and homophobic. You're not going to find guys and gals who will work under you after that. They won't allow themselves to call you their leader. And you know that. And you know what? Even the ones who weren't in those marginalized groups that you offended, those guys probably still aren't going to play or work under Gruden. Everyone knows a mother, a sister, a daughter, a girlfriend, a wife, a brother, a teammate, a coworker, a friend, a teacher, or a boss. Someone who would have been affected by those comments. You know someone who was the target of Gruden's language. Would those guys play under Gruden? Being a coach is not easy. It's not just having a good resume with wins and losses. To be a coach, you also have to be very commanding, and you have to command respect. Every given Sunday, you are sending your men to war. And every other day of the week, you're pushing your players to their absolute limit to get them ready for the next game, and the next game, and the game after that. Players won't give you their all if they don't respect you, and neither will staff. I don't like to speak in absolutes, but my conclusion is that Jon Gruden will never be a head coach in the NFL again. He will never get that opportunity. Jimmy Garoppolo has agreed to stay with the San Francisco 49ers in a restructured one-year deal worth $6.5 million, which is fully guaranteed. The incentives can earn him close to $16 million on that contract. And arguably, the most important component of the contract, it contains a no-trade clause, which removes the possibility of dealing Jimmy G later in the season. I said this on the show last week. There was a time when Jimmy Garoppolo served as a backup to Tom Brady, and Jimmy G was considered the most valuable insurance policy in the NFL. That was in 2015. But in 2022, are there some concerns with his injury history and overall ability? Sure. That's why Garoppolo hasn't been considered the future of the franchise. So this contract is pretty clear. The 49ers are saying, Jimmy, we like you, we respect you, but we don't think you're our future. Can you stick around with us for one more year while we bridge this franchise between you and Trey Lance? If so, we'll make you the highest paid backup in the league with some extras if you need to play a little more than expected. I totally respect the move. If the 49ers are ready for Trey Lance to take the reins, but they want a solid backup in case of injury, or they simply want a mentor to mentor Lance further, I'm okay with that. If that's the case, I actually really love the display of respect in this move from all the parties involved. Hey, let's work this thing out, let's stick together, and let's compete for the ability to play in February. With that said, I can't help but wonder if the 49ers are holding on to Jimmy Garoppolo because of their lack of confidence in Trey Lance. We know about his accuracy issues. We know he struggled in practices and in camps. We've read those reports. Trey Lance has not developed into the star that San Francisco thought he could be. We saw the 3 and outs during the preseason. The local Bay Area media has talked about how Lance still struggles against the first-team defense. There is too much talk about Trey Lance and his struggle for none of it to be true. And we've seen Lance get on the field and disappoint. It's not like it's a behind-the-scenes secret. We've seen him not fill the shoes of the starting quarterback of the 49ers. And I can't help but wonder if the 49ers are holding out hope that Jimmy G can save them if Trey Lance doesn't work out. The organization knows that it's not a good look. They know they traded 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance, and they know that he has not fulfilled the asking price. But if the 49ers sense that there's something wrong, they may be trying to get ahead of this one. If they doubt that Trey Lance can take over the reins as quarterback, but they let Jimmy Garoppolo walk thinking they can fix Trey Lance, but then they come back and they can't, it's better to have something than nothing. They want their contingency plan in place. And maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill here, but after everything I've heard and seen over the last year and a half, I cannot bring myself to just accept this contract at face value. I cannot 100% accept that Jimmy Garoppolo is being kept in San Francisco to serve as nothing more than a backup. I could be reaching here, but I've been right about these things before, and I'm going to trust my sense of the situation again. Truly the greatest of all time. Last night, Serena Williams completed a spectacular 3-set win in her second matchup of the US Open. She took on the number 2 ranked contender, Anett Kontaveit. Of course, these wins in the US Open tournament mean just a little bit more right now. It's supposed to be the end of Serena Williams' incredibly decorated career. With this win, Serena advances to the 3rd round of the tournament as she inches closer to what could be a storybook ending to her illustrious career. Ever since Serena's quote in that magazine that she was going to be evolving away from tennis, sports has brought the question to the forefront. Where does Serena Williams rank all time? I am so genuinely upset by the ignorance and the downright disrespect of Serena Williams. People were on Twitter yesterday, and they get on Twitter and they forget how to act. Everyone thinks their opinion is final and absolute. They don't do any background research. They just say what's on their mind. To me, this is very simple. Serena Williams is the greatest of all time. And I don't mean the greatest female tennis player of all time. I need you to listen carefully to what I'm saying here. At the present moment in time, I believe Serena Williams is the greatest tennis player of all time. And I also have her on my Mount Rushmore. Before I get into that, let me break it down by category. First, greatest female tennis player of all time. For me, she takes that title. She takes that one easily. I say that with no disrespect for Monica Seles, Martina Navratilova, or Steffi Graf. They were all excellent. But I've said this on the show before. There's a difference between good and great. And there's a difference between great and the greatest. Despite what older, more traditional tennis fans may say, Serena's title is undisputed. She's done the most for the game on the court and off it. Now, next category. My greatest male tennis players of all time. To me, it's Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. If I had to pick one, it would be Nadal. The heart of a lion, the ability to outwill any opponent, and all the accolades to go along with the undisputed male GOAT title. But as much as I love Nadal, he didn't have the same impact on the game as Serena. She has forever changed the perception and the landscape of tennis. She's revolutionized the psychology of the sport and how we think of the athletes who play the game. And yes, she has earned her spot on my Mount Rushmore. My sports Mount Rushmore might surprise some people. I don't have any baseball players. I don't think anybody's had great enough impact to replace these people on the list. And I also have 2 basketball players, so those things might throw some people off. In no particular order, my Mount Rushmore is Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, LeBron James, and Serena Williams. Game changers, courageous, champions, unapologetic, and truly undeniable. Those are the qualities that are needed to be on my Mount Rushmore, and all 4 of them fulfill those. I want to wrap this up by mentioning this. There was a moment yesterday after the win. There were many moments throughout the match, but this particular one, where we really got to see the full encompassing picture of Serena Williams' career and how she does it. Spent, probably exhausted, but in her own effortless way, she responded to one of the questions saying, "I'm just Serena." I found that so fitting. It's so characteristically her. In her biggest moment, she is so focused. Even with the fan frenzy and the media all over her, she was in absolute control. Effortlessly the greatest. With that, we conclude this episode of The Benjamin Kira Show. Don't forget to follow the show on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. The handle is @BenKira Go and check it out. Of course, like the video, comment down below. It helps the algorithm push this show to the other sports fans out there. Also remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, I'm Benjamin Cure. You're watching The Benjamin Cure Show. Take care, everyone.